Hello dear people, and welcome to our super exciting tour through the East Side Gallery in Berlin. Today we embark on a journey along the longest open-air gallery in the world. Listen closely and follow me from left to right, from the Oberbaum Bridge to the Ostbahnhof. Together, we will discover the stories behind some of the most fascinating murals. Before we start, I want to briefly tell you about the history and purpose of the East Side Gallery. After the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, the East Side Gallery was established to preserve the section of the wall between the Oberbaum Bridge and the Ostbahnhof, and to serve as a memorial for peace and freedom. The gallery spans over 1.3 kilometers and was created by more than 118 artists from 21 different countries. You will certainly put some meters on the odometer of your fitness watch. The goal is to keep this historic site alive and make its history accessible to visitors from all over the world. Are you ready? Let's get started. You are now standing at the Oberbaum Bridge. Look around. This is the beginning of our tour. Our first stop is the mural 7 Stages of Enlightenment by Uwe Henneken. Take a close look. This colorful work depicts 7 stages leading to enlightenment. It is a symbolic path of growth and self-awareness, reminding us that the fall of the wall was also a time of new possibilities and inner growth. Did you know that the 7 stages can also be seen as a reference to the 7 chakras of the human body? Fascinating, isn't it? Now move a bit further and stop at the next artwork. It shows the German flag with a Star of David in the center. This mural stands as a powerful symbol for the Jewish community in Germany and reconciliation after the horrors of World War II. It reminds us that the history of the wall is not only one of division, but also of healing and new beginnings. Let's continue. Now we come to the third stop, the work Clock People of the Computer by Cesar Olhagaray. This colorful and quirky picture shows people with computer screens as heads, working like cogs in a machine. It is a satirical depiction of our modern society and the increasing digitalization. A real thought-provoker about the role of technology in our lives and the potential dangers of dehumanization. Imagine if someone had told you, in the 80s, that one day we would all carry little computers in our pockets. Would you have believed them? Continue to the 4th station, Pneumo-Humanoids, by Jens Helge Dahmen. This futuristic mural depicts human-like beings, made of mechanical parts and powered by air. It is a fascinating and somewhat eerie vision of the fusion of humans and machines. This picture encourages reflection on the future of humanity and the impact of technology on our lives. Next, we come to Mixed Feelings by Sigrid Müller-Holtz. Look at the picture closely and let it affect you. It shows a complex and dynamic landscape expressing various emotions. Now, listen to the poem that perfectly matches this picture. The world still untouched, radiant, and then out of the blue sneaks, in barely visible, the calamity by human hand. A storm arises, the earth trembles, it can no longer bear it. Breaking, bursting, screaming, warning, disrupted cycle of nature. Look with vigilant eyes at the world. Ask questions, to ward off the calamity made by human hand. Pause and interpret this poem. What do you think? What does the artist want to tell us with this work? Feel free to ask a classmate for their opinion. At this point, you can take a little breather and catch a glimpse of the spree. Enjoy the moment and the view. Pause the podcast if you see another mural that interests you. Just don't forget to press play again. There's still much to hear. Your way to the next picture we will discuss will now be 14 murals long. Are you also wondering why several of them are white? This wasn't always the case. Either they were deliberately destroyed or the artist removed them. You can find more information about this on the website, eastsidegalleryausstellung.de. Next is The Wall Must Fall When the Meteorite of Love Comes by Irina Dubrovskaja. This colorful and symbolic mural depicts a meteorite filled with love breaking through the wall. It is a powerful representation of the overwhelming power of love, capable of tearing down even the hardest barriers. Our next stop is a real hit, The Brother Kiss by Dmitry Vrubel. Do you see the famous picture? Leonid Brezhnev and Erich Honecker really love each other, well, at least in this picture. It is a quite ironic depiction of the political friendship between the Soviet Union and the GDR. Who would have thought that politics could be so cuddly? A few murals further is the longest picture in the gallery. It is called World's People, We Are One People, and was created by Shamil Gimaju. This work stretches over several segments and depicts people from all over the world standing together for peace and unity. It is a powerful message of solidarity and common humanity, particularly impressive in a city like Berlin with its tumultuous history. Did you know that the picture is almost as long as 4 football fields? Impressive, isn't it? Look at the next artwork. This is Detour to the Japanese Sector by Thomas Klingenstein. This work depicts a fictional alternative reality in which a Japanese sector exists in Berlin. It reminds us of how the city was divided into different sectors and how international influences have shaped Berlin. The picture plays with the idea of global networking and the cultural diversity Berlin has experienced since the fall of the wall. The depiction of a Japanese sector is a creative way to illustrate the importance of international relations and the impact of the Cold War on the city. If you want to dive into Japanese cuisine, why not have sushi for dinner tonight? In a melting pot like Berlin, you can easily find an authentic Japanese restaurant. A few murals further, you will see the picture Mind Journey by Andy Weiss. The triptych shows geometric and fragmented representations. These, along with the symbols of a banana and an astronaut, are meant to remind us of the fragmented Berlin during the time of division. The modern Nefertiti, in the center of the image, flies directly towards the viewer. Next to it are symbols of future times, cell structures, and a sunset on a distant planet. Mind Journey represents the zeitgeist of 1990 and looks hopefully, but also with concern, into an uncertain future. Move on to the next picture. This is Wall Jumper by Gabriel Heimler. Here, someone is jumping over the wall. Reminds you of parkour, doesn't it? This picture stands for the courage and hope of people who wanted to escape the confines of the GDR. A real adrenaline rush. The mural Caution by Rodolfo Ricalo can be seen after about 10 more murals. Let's see if you can find it. What emotions does it evoke in you? What societal issues do you think it addresses? A little hint. It has to do with the Me Too movement and the Build scandal. Correct. It aims to raise awareness about abuse of power. Next is Test the Best by Birgit Kinder. Do you see the car breaking through the wall? This picture reminds us of the escape attempts and the courage of people who risked everything to gain freedom. A real road trip of hope. On to the next picture. This is Curriculum Vitae by Suzanne Kunjapu-Jelinek. A colorful picture story that tells the life in Berlin, before and after the fall of the wall. A true kaleidoscope of Berlin's history, always exciting and full of surprises. Move on to the next picture. This is Politics is the Continuation of War by Other Means by Karsten Joost. This picture alludes to the famous saying by the Prussian general and military theorist Karl von Clausewitz: "War is the continuation of politics by other means." Jost turns this quote around and refers to the often aggressive and conflict-ridden nature of politics itself. The work questions how peaceful political processes really are, and whether they often take on warlike traits. Now we come to the last picture. Do you see a very blue mural in the distance at the end of the gallery? That is, The Spirit is like traces of birds in the sky, by Ingeborg Blumenthal. Look up. Imagine you see the traces of birds in the sky. This colorful and abstract picture symbolizes the freedom of the spirit and the boundless creativity after the fall of the wall. It is an inspiring work that embodies the idea that thoughts and ideas are free and limitless, much like the traces birds leave in the sky. Truly inspiring, isn't it? I hope this audio guide is fun for you and helps you better understand the East Side Gallery and its cool artworks. Have fun exploring.